Senator Bob Jauch, can you tell me where do you think this will all end? What would be the end game for what's going on in the Capitol right now?
There's a heat of an agreement between Governor Walker, the unions, state Senate Democrats. We agree that public employees are prepared to pay the increased pension and health care costs, but they want to do it at the collective bargaining table. They have said that they're willing to go to the table and agree to it. I would hope that Governor Walker would meet with them. He's been governor for 2 weeks and 2 months, and it's in a sit down. It's the Wisconsin sitting down and working together, coming together to work together, is the Wisconsin way of doing what is in the best interest of finding common ground. Governor Walker, we could present Governor Walker with a plan in a heartbeat that would assure him of the sunrise of these contributions if he was willing to accept collective bargaining, so that the employees would go to the table and sign an agreement. If they didn't by April 1st, then the agreement would go into effect without their work. They're eager to come to the table, even though they know what the results are. Like QEO, they would prefer to be at the table. It's the Wisconsin tradition. It's the Wisconsin way. Collective bargaining has worked for 52 years, and it works around the state of Wisconsin. I wish Governor Walker would give it an opportunity. Come to the table with us. We truly are trying to find a middle ground that is good for Wisconsin workers, good for our traditions, and enables him to protect taxpayers.
And Bob, the other question I wanted to ask you is, what are your thoughts on the budget bill that he released yesterday?
Well, I'm afraid that Governor Walker is making us look more like Mississippi than Wisconsin, and I'm troubled by that. He declared war on workers' rights several weeks ago, and I'm afraid he declared war on the rest of the citizens last night. His budget is extremely destructive to public education. He seems to favor private education at the expense of public education, and he will literally destroy the quality of education in rural, small, low-spending school districts that have been keeping costs down, but will simply have to lay off hundreds, if not thousands, of teachers as a result of his spending cuts. In addition to that, his decision to cut up to 66,000 people off of Medicaid is simply inhumane and not demonstrating the Wisconsin compassion for our fellow citizens, our most vulnerable citizens. We are extremely troubled that the governor, his legislation gives the Secretary of Health Services the ability to ignore the law and make those cuts regardless of the law. They ought to abide by the law, or they ought to change the law. So I hope that he listens to the public, and the public's going to be outraged. This is another mushroom cloud in the state of Wisconsin, in addition to workers' rights problems.